Aloha kako, everyone, and welcome to another weekly installment of Rabbit Holes. Hey, Sarah, how's it going?
Oh, hey, how's it
I'm
going?
doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. And you know what? I'm happy to announce that we're gonna start being contributing adults and members of society as members of podcast and broadcasting. I would like to let everybody know that we at Rabbit Holes and Novel Productions are accepting PSAs from nonprofits and organizations on Maui. So if you guys have something to say and you need to get it out, our community's first. With that being said, we are also, because it's an election season, we're also looking for political candidates. So if anybody out here on island wants to have their message heard and they think that, they're worth voting for, by all means. But, gonna let you know, you're gonna have to answer to me and Sarah and to your constituency. So, yeah, I won't pull any punches, but there, we'll play nice. But if you do want the real interview and you want to get them real votes, you got to be able to answer real questions. So I am gonna have real questions, and I'm gonna do my research, and then that way Sarah can learn how to do her research, and everybody following along at home can double check you too. So political candidates, get your buttonskis on the show, and we're gonna talk story about what you can do to change the community in this election year, because we want to hear ya.
That's going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely. And with that being said, we're actually going to have a special interview from a very important person in the community, Uncle Norman over at Palpena. And we're going to talk about his program, what he's doing for the Hawaiian community, and and how we can contribute and help. Also, this is going to expand into an even bigger segment. So for all you Kanaka listening right now, I am a man on a mission. I want to talk to all of you. I found out some weird statistics in my time of being in the business that I'm in, and there are more Kanakas on the mainland than there are in Hawaii anymore because of displacement. A lot of us moved out. Like case in point, me, I was raised in California. My grandparents left Hawaii as pretty much children. They joined the military. They traveled the world. They got married. They had kids. They established themselves in California. And our family went from there. And that's the story of a lot of not just even Kanaka Hawaiians, but even other people of the Pacific. So I hope it's a story that you guys would like to story and a journey that you guys would like to go on. But have your eyes peeping out on all of the Kanaka forums online, because I will be putting up notices to interview every one of you. I'm coming for you. I'm going to come to your hui. I'm going to come to your civic club, and I'm going to talk story with you, Auntie. I promise. Okay? That's my mission. I know that, it's going to be hard to talk to, all 2 million of you, but we're going to find a way. All right? There's, I know it's the last time I read, Kamehameha census data, there's, 2.5 million of us or something. And I know that number is getting bigger. And I know there's some places in the world that we aren't even counting, and I want to go there, bro. Okay? So, with that being said, if you guys are on the Hawaiians on the Mainland forum on Facebook, that's where I started, okay? So I'm going to be putting out a forum just on there because, I don't know what the load's going to be like, but, the outpouring for those who want to participate is already huge. So if you guys are on the Hawaiians on the Mainland forum on Facebook, keep your eyes peeped for that, because that's coming out this afternoon, okay? So Sunday, today. So if you guys, if it's after Sunday, if we've time traveled now, if you forgot about us, but you're listening on Tuesday, hey, back past Sunday, we want to release something good. Check them out. All right. So moving along from that, hope to see some responses in that forum. If not, keep your eyes peeled on other forums. I will be doing some segments about folks on Maui, folks on other islands, but I really want to try to start connecting Hawaiians that have been separate from other Hawaiians for too long. Because
what are the forums about? What exactly are the forums, though? The forums that you're sending.
So essentially, it's just a simple podcast guest sign-up form, but there's been a few additions made to it to allow us to talk story faster. Because since there's so many of us, I figure, okay, I could probably do 20 minutes every week, and we could talk to maybe 1, 2, if lucky 3. But you know what? Hey, some of us stay Portuguese. So the thing is, when that happens, I'm probably going to try to do a bunch of interviews every week, and then they're just going to stack up, and it's probably going to turn to its own damn show for all I know. But feasibly, I've the form is detailed to ask you about like where you stay now, where you came from, what islands your family from, what are you doing in your community? Is there a shout out in your community that you need? Is there something in your community that needs support? How can we kukua for Hawaiians abroad?
Oh, it's like a Hawaiian typeface.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like my digital Malama Hanua. That's my plan.
I love
Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to ole across the world and see who chants back. So if y'all want to come on that ride, we going.
I think that's a great idea.
Dig it.
That's gonna be cool.
Dig it. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to the Maui. Let's get to Maui coverage first, and then we'll go talk about the world, and then we'll go talk about the weird, and then we'll talk about gossip, and then and yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. It's gonna be a fun episode. So we'll be back in just a second after this quick break from a very important sponsor. Moving forward.
We live in a fast-paced world where many people are too busy to sit down and read books or news articles. But thanks to Newsly, you can now listen to the news you wish you had the time to read. By utilizing AI technology, a natural human voice reads you the news, helping you grasp the information faster and more efficiently. Newsly provides the latest news updates 24/7, letting you browse articles from topics you choose. It even has podcasts, including ours. And listeners of Rabbit Holes can get their first 30 days of premium for free, allowing you to enjoy an ad-free experience by using the special promo code in our episode description. So download Newsly today for free on iOS and Android, or visit www.newsly.me so you can stay updated on the things that matter to you.
Moving forward. Coming back from that break, guys, make sure to check out that Newsly stuff. It's pretty cool. Hey, have you tried it out yet, Sarah? I've tried it out.
I've tried it out. I have.
Yeah?
I like it.
Nice.
I like that you listen to it. I actually was like showering and had it on so that I can catch up on some news while I was getting ready for the day. So it was perfect.
Cool. I liked how I could make like a Maui County feed, and then I could make an Oahu feed, and then I could make a whole chain feed, and then like just like pop them all together. And then I will have to say, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like you got to get used to a robot at first, but I've been around too many robots and programs in my life that like I kind of can tell when it's a robot. But I gotta say, guys, the quality of this AI system is actually pretty good.
It is really good.
He's a nice fella. He means well, and he reads the night.
He sounds authentic. Yeah. He sounds very authentic.
Such a guy, that boy.
Welcome. I can see like elderly people really loving this app. You know.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I have
actually. I sent it to a couple of aunties. I have them checking it out. They doing the R&D for real. All right. So I actually and it's one of those things. It's like we don't take affiliate like. It's not a light thing for us to take on an affiliate. I want to be very like conscious of like the partnerships that we have. So like what it really like to me, what appeals about it is just the fact that like it's the access. People less and less have access to the news, and then they also less and less have access to like even being able to have the time to read the news. And then news is behind a lot of paywalls. So then it's like we're already having subscriptions, but then there's certain things that like, okay, well, if we can combine everything to one subscription, this gets it for us, you know? And then it's good. Like I can fit it in on my bike rides, which is great. Yeah,
it's a one-stop place too, you know? It's got everything just in one place rather than surfing the web for the news.
Yes, for the news. Yeah, well, and that's the thing is it's got multiple sources. So you're not just like just CNN or just Fox or just, you know, it's pulling from everything that you like. It'll suggest you from other sources, and there's no bias because it's just a robot reading the pages. So unless they're reading op-ed articles to you, this news is going to be so vanilla, your tummy should be okay by the end of it. So you won't be like angry posting on the internet about it. But some of these subjects will keep you informed. So speaking of informed subjects, hey, that big ass house in Napili. What about it, Sarah?
Oh, I'd be pissed if I was their neighbor. I'd be so pissed if they put up an eyesore like that. Like, it's only 2 floors.
Well, okay, and so here's the crazy part. So they pulled that whole it's only 2 floors thing, but the existence of its 45-foot height now spurred an actual it made change in the regulations of the housing heights. So now this guy
He found a loophole.
Yeah, no. He's grandfathered in because he made the problem that they created the legislation for.
Right, exactly.
He took the duty. He made one duty right there in Napili, and then the government went, okay, you can make that duty, and then the people came out and went, no more make that kind of duty, but you can keep that house. And then so now, but he's he has the right friends. He knows the bureaucratic process. Here's the thing. If anybody wants to be angry about this, I feel it's totally justified. All right. Half of my blood and half my heart belongs to Napili. That's the thing. See, he technically didn't break any rules. But if this community wanted to see the, it shaped the way it was, then they got to be aware. You want to have your blood boiling and you want to be angry about this. But
there's speculation that it's actually a hotel, right? That it's not like a residential building, that it is going to be made for something else.
That he's going to like Airbnb it to fucking oligarchs or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks
like. Exactly. It does. It looks like a freaking posh Instagram hotel for 6 people. Like, there's a better chance that he's going to sell it to Chad Huddy before like it actually like houses a Hawaiian or a rich Hawaiian in it. Absolutely. Which I don't have any other options behind Hawaiian or rich Hawaiian. Because look, bro, the only way you're going to get it is either waiting on the list till you die or becoming one billionaire. So I'm going to try to do both. But realistically, I'll probably be a billionaire before I get my homestead land. Keeping it 100 there. So, but I got to say, I got enough cousins over there, and my cousin Jacob has to bike past that thing all the time. And it's a bit of an eyesore, but that dude went and he did right by himself. He researched everything. He did all the paperwork. And that's how these people rule the world. They create stupid rules and they create stupid papers. And if you do the stupid rules and you do the stupid papers, you get what you want. So if you guys, if there's anybody out there that doesn't like this, then go out there, do the stupid papers and get even. Okay? All right? And so, what was that? One more time, Sarah.
Go build themselves another eyesore.
Yeah, exactly. So on that same front, things we need to protect. The homeless camp in Kanaha.
I remember when they did that last year.
Yeah, but like now it's gonna ramp up again, and they're gonna use the excuse of the pandemic being over as a reason to relocate more people again. I mean, I would really love to be able to talk to representatives from City Hall about this. It would be a much better way to get a resource. I mean, I'd even love to talk to the homeless about it if we could.
That would be cool. I'm sure we're moving them too. Like when they move them, where do they go?
Well, see, here's the thing about moving homeless in America, and I can tell you this from multiple points of view. I spent almost 9 years working in homeless nonprofits before getting back into the entertainment industry. And it's really the only way that you take care of the homeless these days is by the kindness of people who show up in the community. Like in Hawaii, we're lucky enough to have the kind of aloha to understand the certain things that get people in the places that they're at and why they end up homeless. Yeah. But then also because of the apathetic notions of a colonial nation kind of bleed into us, and eventually that apathy sets in with our own people. And sometimes their aloha doesn't shine through enough, or it becomes kind of schmaltzy and saccharine and fake, and then they only want to share it with who they feel is deserving of their aloha, even though like that's the give and take is you have to do it no matter what, even when it hurts, Yeah. And so if a part of you hurts because these people are hurting, then go help them. Yeah. And so like it's sad that like, I mean, we can live in a community where the people can be homeless 1 year and then they go, you know what? Oh, you guys take up too much space. So we're gonna put one pool here, and you guys can go live somewhere else, you know. And then that happens, and then they move somewhere else, and now they gotta go move somewhere else, and
Yeah,
they're
so
gonna go.
basically in the homeless to
Yeah,
different spots.
well, and that's what they
Like,
do. They redistribute them.
solving absolutely nothing in the process.
Yeah, no, and this is a huge problem that we had in California, still happening in California. Like
Mhm.
I ran actually, and we'll cover this year when we go to Comic-Con, because we'll be there at Comic-Con. But there's actually a huge thing that I like as far as like the homeless of San Diego have a place in my heart, because like you guys have to see that when you go to Comic-Con, you know. And I like growing up around San Diego as a Maui transplant to San Diego family. Like there was still like that effort to like kakua for our community. So I grew up like my grandfather had already established himself on the West Coast and was giving back. And so by the time that like I became, you know, old enough to do, like I was around to see it. And so then when you can see it in one place and you know it exists, you can just about find it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And over the past decade, you know, like San Diego and LA are becoming the biggest hotbeds for migration for the homeless because it's the safest place to live.
Mhm.
You're in a more liberal state, so there's protection. There's homeless protection laws. You know,
Yeah.
you're also surrounded by more social services. So like we're kind of California kind of sin eats the problems of the nation by taking in the destitute. It's one of California is one of the last states that can actually say that they take the tired, the poor, and the hungry.
That's great.
You know, and then people don't think about that. Like we still have Lady Liberty sitting out there. Give me your poor, give me your tired, give me your hungry, and everybody's like, get these homeless people off my lawn. And it's like, bruh,
Yeah. Can we move on to the other side for a while? Yeah.
you're blocking my Instagram photo. Hashtag awkward. So all I gotta say is though, if they kick out all those guys and those cats come in danger next, they're gonna have one big fight coming for them.
Whoa, the one-eyed cats that live over there.
Hey man, you know what? We created that mess. Now we gotta live with it. Cause I'm sure as hell not gonna be a part of killing that many kitties. So we might as well just spay and neuter them all and let them live to their happy end like some otaku dream.
Yeah, let them.
Yeah,
Oh,
but no.
like,
So
missing eyes, like these poor cats. Have you really seen them? They're
yes.
all, like,
Oh my god. You know how many times I get asked to do? I had to do 3 location scouts over there in the past 2 years. So
really?
like yeah, and so like the first time I was there, like I hadn't seen it firsthand
it's
myself
crazy.
until
Especially
the
that
second
sunset,
time.
They
Yeah.
all come out too.
Yeah.
They all come out at sunset, and it's like, dude, the whole parking lot. I bring a friend that she loves cats, so when she visits, we always go there at sunset to look at the cats. But yeah, dude, it's literally hundreds of cats up in there.
Yep.
Mm.
I kind of want to just like I want to run like like on the street adoption program out of there. Like if we could just like one by one, like and
when
then
you come out here, we should go out there and just go out there at the sunset, just get a little footage of all them cats. Just
yes. Well, yes, because you know what? I'd rather we can cover the cats and use the cats as a way to help the regular homeless people because I don't believe in videotaping the homeless. Like, if someone homeless wants to come on the show and talk of their own volition, that's one thing. But, like, I do not believe in, like, hey, bro, we're going to be at the soup kitchen, so come TikTok with us. Fuck that shit. Like, we have a mission. There's not enough people doing this mission. So, also, if you guys want to go out there and go do the kind help, like, do it. But don't ask for anything in return. Don't be that asshole Howley on YouTube has to go, you'll never guess what this happened to this guy when I gave him $10,000. It's like, bro, like half the time are those people even real? Second time, it's like, it's usually a setup, if anything has like taught us in like Howley Mainland News, but like it's woof. Yeah. So I think it's kind of gauche. You know, who needs to take pictures of homeless people? Knowing that you changed somebody's life
you can do that and nobody needs to know about it.
Exactly. But at least to like finish out the point on like the whole like, Kanaha homeless. Like, I mean, so they're sweeping out all their stuff. They're gonna try to go again, I'm very sure. But like not many people are realizing that like when these sweeps happen, it's like just because like you thought that car on the side of the road was a blight, it's like there's like 3 people that could have been sleeping in there. Sometimes cases 6. Like, like if that car's not going to move, they can carve out every avenue of that car. So like the trunk is for the baby and the back seats for, whoever feel like getting the hump on their back that night, or they put one pillow down. Some guy sleeps underneath the car. Some guy sleeps on top of the car. If the car's on stilts, nobody sleep on top of the car. But you know what? Like it's a homogeneous lifestyle, but what do you expect for people who have to take resources from the street? But like at that same aspect, like again, like, hey, if there's anybody out there in the community that feels that they can cook cool for these folks, go stop by there in your free time. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody who sent you. Don't tell anybody why you did them. Just go out there and do it. All right? You got extra food? Go drop them by. All right?
Yeah,
you got extra blankets? Now's the time. All right? Because that's the other thing is if our political leaders and our representatives and our government officials see the community going out there, then they recognize that they have to lead in the same measure. Because our representatives
make them look bad, guys. Let's make them
well,
look
not
bad.
only let's make ourselves look better. Okay, because that's the problem is our representatives only get better if we raise the bar. We've constantly like misled ourselves into this idea that like our representative has to be the best of us. No, we are our community, so we should all be the best. And meaning that person has to know that when they stand up there, they're carrying the respect of their county behind them, and they're an emissary for their constituency. We need to stop stripping people of this idea that like we look to the politician and they solve everything. The politician only knows what to do if you tell him. You vote for these people to tell them what to do. Okay? Politicians are servant leaders. That is encoded in what they're meant to do for the community. So if we're not our best behavior, that's why you get political cronyism. We cronies, so they go off and they be cronies in their own little corner. And we're like, hey, bro, don't watch me while I go do this. Then so they don't watch and we don't watch. And next thing you know, nobody watching nobody and all this shit's going down. So that's how it goes.
I think you nailed it.
Let's nail it every week if we can. All right, that's the thing is we have to nail it every week, kids. The future's depending on us. But you know what? Something we can celebrate about Hawaii. We are the least fat. We are the least fat. I think it's because like the colonials tried to starve us out these past 7 years, but like inflation just kept getting us. And you're like, bro, I like grow my own food, and we did. Yeah. Hey, I like yeah.
Bathing suit and kind of
what was that?
You on that path. They said living in your bathing suit kind of puts you on the path of like, I got to be showing this thing off every single day. Maybe I should invest a little bit in it.
You know what? Only being in Hollywood has gotten me back into that. I mean, like, yeah, I've always kept like kind of a maintained dad bod, but I gotta say, just because of like Hawaiian, like, just that whole like, we're island people thing. Like as a kid, like I did not become aware of my body until I got into entertainment. So
That's
like it wasn't
it's probably something from like a girl, especially coming from the mainland too, because I even say like my mainland body and my Hawaii body, they're two completely different bodies.
Yeah, but I'm yeah. No, and there's a certain thing about just like it's in a culture like this, like people take you everything for what you are, because like it's small town USA. You know, it's no different than being in backwoods Arkansas. Like Makawao, Haleakala, Kula, Pukalani, all them, like haiku, like it's just different versions of each, So it's just like I have mainland equivalents that like from traveling all over the mainland, like when I'm in little townships of Maui, I'm just like, oh yeah, this one's like the Riverside. And then this one's totally like Arkansas County type of shit right here. But and like you kind of see the elements of each. But no, like Hawaii be proud. We not the fattest guy in the room anymore. All right? So, sisters, you thick, but you're not fat, all right? Everybody else is fat. You can keep it thick though, right? It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Oh, you know what? Before we finish the subject on Hawaiian folks and people, so weird thing. So something interesting to think about because of inflation. We're now reapproaching the sugar daddy era.
The sugar daddy era. When did the era stop?
Well, exactly. When did the era stop? But it goes into higher modes when inflation occurs.
Really?
Yes, because they're
Which makes sense.
So sugar daddies and sugar mamas go into forests. And it was funny because I was really like sitting there like when they started announcing like the Ukraine thing and like because I pay attention to all the legislation and what's going on and like all this stuff, and then knowing that the corporations were gonna dick us and raise their rates, even though they technically don't have to because technically oil's cheaper than it's ever been right now, and we're totally fine, but they're overcharging us because they can. So make sure to complain to your elected official to regulate the oil companies. Because you know what? At this rate, if the oil companies keep pissing us off, we'll all switch to electric as fast as we can. Okay?
Right?
We gonna make it happen. I don't by hell or high water. Either that or everybody or we're gonna invent a really cool zip line gun like in the video games, and everybody can just whoop everywhere. Or maybe tubes like in Futurama.
Like
I don't know.
Duck, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Darkwing Duck or Fortnite. Yeah. Let's get dangerous, Hawaii. Yeah, but all right. So last couple news points. Let's I kind of wanted to reflect on the world for a moment here.
Let's reflect.
Yeah, so I mean,
I haven't been really watching the news too lately about the Ukraine stuff because it was really depressing for the past couple weeks. So I kind of took a break. So is that what we're gonna go into? We're gonna fill me in.
You know what? I will have to say that you know what? There is nothing wrong with that, Sarah, to a degree. That's how most Americans feel right now. They get depressed about watching other people's plight.
Gotta take a breather and be like, okay. Whew.
Yeah, I don't come from that school of thought. Like I feel it's okay for certain people that just like if that's you need the breather because you have to be able to like I was raised by a man who like put it in perspective of me that made me like on a Catholic guilt / Kuleana / fucking every other like level of requiredness in destiny was that I had to be able to think of 9 billion people before myself.
Oh,
so like seriously, like, I do. I get super Catholic Hawaiian guilt when I'm not, like, so, like, that's why, like, I have to do things about it.
You need to take a little thing in self-care, then.
No. Self-care is totally in my equation. Like,
good.
I've got that in my life, but there's a certain point where you just can't, like, there's no rest for the wicked. And until we are all no longer wicked, and we're wicked by association. So long as wickedness lives in this world, we are wicked by association. So there's no rest for any of us as far as I'm concerned. And that's the way that my gramps rolled. You know, that was a guy who fought in Korea, Vietnam, would have done it again too if they didn't fucking expose him to sarin gas and lead him to die at 58 years old of freaking Agent Orange. But you know what? The dude was a tank, and he did it. And he kept going, and he fought for it, and he fought hard every day. And so it's like when I think about him and all the people like that before him, like, you know, it's just like we have to keep the torch burning. You know, there's like it does seem like at a certain point, okay, to like, yeah, you got to take a break and think about yourself. But it's like, how much change can we effectually make? Like, if I'd like to be able to say that I could do anything with this show is like, if our advertisers make some money, that's good for the economy. If we hear the voice of our people and we spread the message, that's a win. But if there's anything that I can change in this world by doing all of that, it's making drastic shifts in the pendulum swing because we're so far behind. You know, and it's like I sound like a doomsayer, but it's like, guys, we've inherited a broken machine. So if we don't recognize what's broken, like my father is essentially a robotics and food packaging mechanic. And there's a certain way that I've watched the way that man like fixes the food that is made for us every day. It's just there's a simple level that mechanics and engineers look at problems. You know, by no means am I an engineer or mechanic, but I think if there's anything that my father taught by expression of that was how to be like a mechanic of humans. How did he relate his ability into my ability and where I get that from? There's just a way that guys like him look at things, you know? So it's, when I look at like, how do I solve the bigger problems of the world? It's like, well, what happens in a bakery? You know, like, okay, well, we got to turn off this machine. We got to make sure the yeast isn't exploding over there. And then we got to do this. But then this is how you get the bread back out. Or this is how the yogurt's made. Or this is how the Coca-Cola's made. You know? So I feel that like as a community, we need to start recognizing like, okay, what machine can we turn off right now that can make a drastic change? Like, could we really really make a huge impact on the ecosystem if we got rid of the entire Pacific garbage patch today or tomorrow or in less than a week? Or how could we change enough of the economy to make it to where jobs are fruitful again, and that small businesses know how to grow, or that people don't have to be homeless, and that the crazy Uncle Joeys out there that decide to stay homeless, they can. Props to you, Uncle Joey. Sometimes that's just a choice. Go for it, bro. Do you, boo-boo? He one crazy guy, but I love him. So, crazy stuff to think about in this world. And so, like, one of the crazy things that, like, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about gun reform in this country, and that's a dirty two-word phrase to say amongst Republicans. So I know I'm gonna get heat for this because I'm not a guns Republican.
And usually Republicans are for guns.
Oh yeah. So actually, guns is kind of on both sides these days. You know, so unless you're like ultra liberal, think of the children. Like I've even noticed most like liberals towards the center are gun people now. Like we're kind of back into the 80s. Like I think like gun culture's kind of come back up enough.
What do we really need a gun for?
It's a tool. It's a utility. That's the way that I look at it. It can attack things. It can get you dinner. It can take a man's life. It can shoot your toe off if you're drunk as a skunk and you try boar hunting. Damn it, Timmy. You lost that big toe on purpose. That's all your fault, bro. He's got worse things on his plate, though. That's a story for another time. But anyways, so, like, I understand why hunters have them.
Like the everyday Joe, like just going to work and coming home, like, and I can see people want it just for like the safety of like breaking into the house.
No, that's a colonial thought right there. I think that's a colonial thought. I think
so
that
why
should you have to live in fear? Why should you have to own something? Like I think a warrior should have a weapon if they are practiced in that weapon. That's totally cool. If you're a sharpshooter, if you know what you're doing, if there's a practical application for that gun in your life, if you're just somebody who has small dick syndrome because they feel that they can't protect their family, or they chose poorly of their neighborhood and they live in a poor neighborhood, or their neighborhood has become a poor place, guess what? You're not going to solve your bad neighborhood with a gun. You need to get out there, hit the bricks, and you need to change your neighborhood by hand, not by force. Okay? All these people that fly out of neighborhoods, you know why your neighborhood went to shit, guys? Because you didn't show up.
Yeah.
And then and that's all Americans have taught indigenous peoples how to run away. Like I to a degree, like I'm very envious of reservation life indigenous Americans because like there's nothing that makes them want to leave, but then at the same time, a lot of their economies are stuck in a rut. Like, let's put a checkbox in that. After Hawaii's done, I'm going to the reservations. But it just, but what's maddening right now is, so in the gun reform stuff is that we're not seeing enough support from the public. And then it's how long until we go back to school shootings? How long until we go back to a rise in, actually, we're already back on a rise in petty crime. It's actually higher than it's ever been again. So I'm surprised that we're not like seeing more catalytic converters disappearing again. Inflation is going to cause a lot of small town theft, and and that's usually the first thing. So like on the funny side of inflation, you got sugar daddies and sugar mamas, but on the downside of inflation, you're going to see theft, you're going to see robbery go up, okay, because people won't know how to get it. So you're going to see people leave their life behind and go,
crazy things.
Yep. One thing leads to another, and they all just go down the hole, and they're lost to it. Yeah. So I mean, really, like gun reform doesn't affect responsible gun owners. Okay. Let me repeat: gun reform does not affect responsible gun owners. Okay. Gun reform makes it so that way the people involved with the handling of the gun in the event that it does terrible things are held responsible. It prevents irresponsible people from having guns. Okay?
Yeah.
There's like a whole bunch of states I can take you to right now where we can walk into one state, buy a gun in like 10 minutes, and then cross the state line and go buy bullets. But you cannot. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. Well, and then also like all the laws that you can hack in order to get like a carry permit in states that you're not even supposed to take a gun. But then you can go like be a PI in the state of Virginia and they get a federal carry permit. And then you could show up in California with your little permit at Disneyland if you wanted to and be that asshole.
wow.
Yeah. And really at the end of the day, all the people that are like caught up in the traipsing around town with their gun type of stuff, like in those types of towns, like, you know, like I want to be clear, like I don't really feel that like I'm attacking any of Hawaii when I'm talking about gun reform because outside of like some crazy stupid shit that my cousin Timmy went pull on one hunt, like you don't hear a lot of irresponsible gun owners. There's a lot.
No.
We have a huge problem with alcoholism and meth, but
Ooh, yeah,
gun
we do.
owners, you're kind of good out here, guys. You know, but like in general, like it's a huge problem on the mainland. So you have to think about like representing that legislation. As being good gun owners, we have to be an emissary and promote good gun usage in the community. How do you respect it like it's a tool? You know, it's a spear like any other. It can take a life, it can give a life. It just depends on how you use it.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, but yeah, we will have to cover the math problem and the alcoholism problem. I'm like,
It's really bad.
you know what? Personally, I had a bad problem in my 20s. I worked in the bar and entertainment scene, so it's
Really?
like, I had a 6-night residency. So it got to a point after knowing all the bartenders because like my show was busy. Like we had a well advertised show. We had a great program. The way that I treated my customers, like I really just hacked everything that I knew from like watching like shows in Oahu as a kid. I took to like karaoke shows on the mainland and it worked. And then and then eventually got into like variety shows and shit. But like, yeah, it's but yeah, it was a really interesting time for having that much access to booze for free. Like if there's anything that's like it's an easy gateway in the entertainment industry is like especially when they don't want to pay you more. Cuz then they're like, yeah, you know, cuz then when you're 24 and they're like, "Look, kid, we can't give you another 100 tacos a week, but we can give you but they would give me a handle every night. And that's the crazy part is like at my peak by like year 5 of doing that shit, I was slamming like a handle a night on the weekends. And like owners would come out and and you know, people would look at me crazy and they'd look at the owners or they'd look at the bartender and they're just like pouring like the thickest fucking drinks in who the fuck is he? And they're like, he's my cash cow. He can have whatever he wants. And I'd just be like, woo, yeah, we gonna do it. And then I'd get up there, fucking do my show. I'd do my thing. I'd be on point, you know, but then there would be that certain point where it started catching up with me. You know, it ruined the rest of my life. Because like I could be that person when I was on and I knew how to control it, but then there's the fallout of the hangover, and then there's the part where you start drinking enough, kids. It's not gonna look pretty, okay?
It doesn't.
It's not. It's not good for your insides. It's not good for your outsides. I'm not saying quit it immediately, but moderation is key, children. That's all it is.
Destroy your body.
Meth, on the other hand, not even once. Don't do that shit.
God.
Not even once. Okay. You want to put weird shit in your body? Like, go let Uncle Sam test on you. They'll give you the craziest shit. You can join some MK Ultra level scam, and Uncle Sam will give you a weird pill that may make you lose your hair, but you'll think you're seeing the moon in your dreams. You know, like go to a trusted official for it. I don't know, but like, I seriously like I think that it's terrible what meth and fentanyl are doing to everybody in America. But at the same time, America created this. Thank you, Reagan. Thank you, Nixon. Like, big stains on the Republican Party. It's like, gee, guys, it's really getting hard to want to historically be a Republican when you think about all the things that we've done to this country. Yeah. So, I mean, if it weren't for the war on drugs, we wouldn't have meth and we wouldn't have fentanyl. You know? The LAPD is responsible for most of the illegal guns that go to the Sinaloa. Yeah, you want to see an interesting documentary on that? Watch Mariana Van Zeller Trafficked on Hulu. That's an addiction of mine. Okay, there's even a new season out. But she follows the gun trade and she follows the fentanyl trade, and she goes down the whole thing. She interviews a dirty fucking cop. She doesn't disclose who he is. Nobody's going to fucking know who he is.
That sounds
But yeah, she manages to get in with dirty cops. She hangs out with the Sinaloa. She goes on part of the journey of walking it through the fields, collecting it on the boats. Okay, she meets human traffickers on her show. She's met Jamaican rap scammers. She's met freaking love scammers. It's called Trafficked. featuring Mariana Van Zeller. She's Traffic.
Okay.
Mariana Van Zeller, Hulu. Worth it. Like, actually, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's true crime in action.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, there's even an episode where she watches a live drug cook. Like, you can actually, like, first time, and well, they obviously cut certain parts out of it, but like, you meet a chemist in the show. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, Breaking Bad ain't got shit on where she's gone.
Oh, and Breaking Bad was so good too.
I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I just couldn't, like, and even as much as I love Bob Odenkirk, I just couldn't finish Better Call Saul. What was that? I'm sorry.
I said everything about that show was just so well done. The story, the acting, like just everything about that show.
Absolutely. Have you seen any of the alternate IPs adaptations of it?
No.
Did you know in Latin America that Breaking Bad is about a guy and a boy who'd start a weed farm instead because weed's worse down there, or portrayed as worse?
Really?
Yeah, because like
the Spanish version of it.
Yeah, because like how could you make meth manufacturers the bad guy / the hero in a story where like it's already like that in Mexico? So they're like, well, shit, we got to change it to something else. Oh, you know what? Weed dealers. They're gonna be weed dealers now. Yeah. But that's like the crazy thing that happens. Like, not all IPs get sold out to other countries, but every once in a while, if a show's a big enough hit, like, look at The Office. America didn't.
Yep.
The Office is an adaptation of a UK property. Coupling, okay? Fucking, what is that new Spirits, the Ghosts one on CBS or whatever? The lady who lives with all those ghosts in her house. That's a BBC knockoff. Like,
is it?
Yes, like half of everything on TV is a remake of an IP from across the pond, and it just tested well in another market, and they're like,
you know, adapt it to the location, and boom, you got yourself a brand new movie. Smart.
Yeah, we could just be making new content. We could just be making better content. You know what? Speaking of better content, we could talk about that after these next messages.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
When you don't vote, what you're really doing is letting somebody else take power over your own life. You wouldn't give your grandmother the power to decide what clothes you wear to the club. You wouldn't give your crazy uncle the power to post a picture to your Instagram feed. So why would you give a stranger the power to make far more important decisions in your life? Voting is the only way to ensure that your concerns matter. Period.
Moving forward.
Welcome back, guys. So we just went over some news, and it's about that time. It's springtime. So let's get into some spring cleaning, Kawika.
Ooh.
Have you been spring cleaning?
We started working on our yard, working on certain parts of the house. I don't know, like my recording trailer gets kind of messy at times. It's kind of yeah. I could stand to clean my desk. It's definitely time to detail my car.
Did you put time away to do all of this? Like, did you figure out okay, I'm gonna take 3 days for my spring cleaning, 4 days? Like, how long does it usually take for you to get your spring cleaning done?
I tend to have to partition my cleaning in pieces, but I also I don't know. I think maybe it might just be a Hawaiian thing, but my grandparents were very much of always being in motion of being clean and well taken care of, you know?
So your spring cleaning was always spring cleaning.
Yeah, every day was kind of spring cleaning, especially when my mom went and got her own house.
You know, Hawaiians, you don't really have a season to be oh, it's starting to get warmer outside. We should probably clean. I'm from Michigan and Chicago, so spring cleaning, it was definitely when it was ooh, it's starting to there's not so much snow on the ground. You can walk outside without this huge winter coat, and it sparked this drive to want to clean up. But it's a little bit different here in Hawaii because we don't have that. So it's kind of going along with the mainland and being oh, it's time for spring cleaning. Oh, okay, I guess it's spring. I guess I should probably hop on that bandwagon.
Yeah, no, every day was spring cleaning with my tutu. I mean, seriously, like, I mean, we were the kind, I mean, most Hawaiians are practically like, we're the kind of people that like, you would clean your house before the maid comes over. If like you had like a really big event and you know you needed one like maid clean, but then tutu would be like, no, we got to clean the house before the maid comes over, you know? And then you got to clean, and you just, like, there's always a reason to just like be tidy.
When I had like a house cleaner, I always would be like a little embarrassed and like, they're going to judge me if it's too dirty.
But yeah, like even like my tutu was like crazy to the point of like it was always cleaning all the time. But I shouldn't say crazy because you know what? Like it put good habits. Like it really like it really like I was that kid that like I was used to getting up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I had to make my bed and then I had to go get the paper and then I go make help.
And yeah, I mean, I wish that I could keep up on it like on a weekly basis. I just can't find the time to do all of those like things that you put aside to get the more important things done in your life, work, grocery shopping, all that good stuff. But I feel like, I don't know how you attack spring cleaning, but I have to have like a checklist. Like I cannot just be like, okay, I'm going to start spring cleaning and just start attacking things. I will get so overwhelmed and pop back and forth between each room that I will end up not getting anything done. Do you have to like go through a checklist when you do your cleaning or do you just kind of dive right into it?
Well, I kind of just like envision the spot I'm going to go for and then I commit to just that spot. So I don't go like, I don't look at it like if there's anything that I've learned as like a checklist completer, like goals are best achieved on smaller scales. So like for those of you that have a hard time with making a checklist of like how to spring clean your whole house, like don't look at the whole 7 days. Look at day one, just plan day one. All right?
Yeah.
And then get through day one.
Which guys, it usually takes 6 to 7 days. The average American, it takes 6 to 7 days to clean. So just have that in your mindset when you're about to attack this. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, it can be daunting if there's like a week worth of cleaning for your average person in America. Like, don't look at it from like, oh, I've got to clean the rafters and I got to do this and I got to do that. No, just pick one. Just go get the one. Because when you get the one done, you're going to feel really good afterwards. And especially if you line them up in the right way, once you're done with one, it's going to point you to the next. So like set yourself in a path to where you're going to like make yourself from the back of the house to the front door, you know? And so then that way you've got to see it every day you go in and out of the house. And then that's
yeah. If it's right in front of you, you gotta at some point.
I guess in like a lot of cases for being that like I don't have like a ton of spring cleaning, like it's really like it's more just like setting aside the time to go, all right, well, it's that time of the month you got to clean the toilet hard, stuff like that. I think that there's a lot of
floors. Like I feel like my floors I always have to attack like really, really often. But
I agree. And I think that it's a really hard thing for like mainland millennials. Like I've had some dirty moments in my life. I can be dirty at times. Like there's production. You just forget about everything.
Production. There's no room to clean. Like I'm so disgusting when we're in production. My house is trashed. I'm living off of crafty foods or whatever's in the fridge from the week before because obviously I don't have time to go grocery shopping. So yeah, people that are in the film industry, like you guys don't got time at all. They're like working constantly to do spring cleaning.
Yeah, no, so that you got to fit it in phases in your life. You're just like, all right, well, after rap, then I guess I can do this, So like, I guess I don't know for what I've seen out of my generation, like having roommates, I mean, like I could be dirty at times and like, yeah, I could even like forget about some dishes for a while, or I could just like not touch something for a week. But like, I've never felt like I've been in an incursion so bad to where it like, you start getting films on things. Like I've been to some places, I'm like, wow, you said you cleaned it because company was coming over. And there's no place in this place that I'd want to sit down. How is this acceptable? And so I think to a degree that like, we're lucky in some cases for like our background and our heritage that like cleaning in general is a thing. And then spring cleaning is like a real deal. So I don't know. It just, I think that like, if it feels daunting to any of you out there, just take it in small pieces.
Yeah, take it in small pieces, definitely. And I think spring cleaning, we need to think also that spring cleaning our space at the same time, we're kind of spring cleaning our mind. You know, declutter your space is kind of decluttering your mind. If you are decluttered in your house and you feel that, it's your mind too. So I think it just goes hand in hand. And yeah, it's a great
So like when you so when you're talking about like cleaning your headspace, like where do you what do you consider cleaning your headspace?
I feel like cleaning my headspace, I think just getting all of those thoughts out, right? I feel like just taking the time for like mindfulness. And I think cleaning your space is a great time to take to do that. You know, you're focusing on the task. It's a great way to just kind of let your mind go and practice some meditation and know that as you're cleaning your space and having that, like have that in your mind that you're cleaning your headspace as well. And it kind of ties in with like, you know, feng shui. That was super big for a long time, and I haven't really been hearing about feng shui lately. Have you?
Oh, you just said a magical trigger word.
Really?
You
What?
said the magic word. Yeah. Feng shui is bullshit.
What? I don't think it is.
Feng
I think
shui
it's
is 1000% provable bullshit. It's provable bullshit. It's been proved to be bullshit.
It's all about perspective.
Nope.
Because
Because
shui,
did you know there is no training model behind feng shui and that there is no actual like translation of like what moves in your space and how?
well, but I think it has to do with your mindset, though. It's just that having that.
Yeah, but see, but the practitioner of feng shui is like it's essentially like a personal phenomenon. So like it's what feels good to you. So like there's no such thing. There's no such thing as someone who can come in and like feng shui your house for you. Those don't exist. Those are bullshit.
I think they can rearrange your space to make you feel better.
No, you want to see something amazing?
When I rearrange my space, I do feel like something flows better. Like you break something in your house, you know, like how can I put this?
I can explain that with marketing.
Huh?
I can explain that with marketing psychology. This is the same thing that happens when the grocery store moves one aisle. It's a new sense of adventure for your brain. You now have to reconnect the puzzle. So it makes it interesting.
Don't you want that constantly in your
Yes,
house?
sometimes, and it's good. But the actual act of feng shui is like a provable bullshit item. Like you can take 100 people who say there are feng shui masters that can come into your house and they will give you bullshit reasons to put it in different spots and none of them match.
So
you can actually watch this. There's an awesome episode.
No way to scientifically prove it, but I think intuitively people can feel it. And I think there's a lot that intuitively when something is rearranged a different way, you can just feel it because you don't feel like an impact over here. And maybe that opens this.
That's where I agree with the idea of feng shui to the point of like, if you feel moving that moves you, do you, boo-boo?
Yes.
Okay, but
and
there's
rather it being like scientific reason why you should do it, it's all about how you feel.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Well, the problem is like
area.
feng shui culture got appropriated by a lot of haole ladies on the mainland, so it's a service that's sold by white people. What was that? One more time?
Oh, they ruin everything. Huh?
No, not necessarily. Sometimes on the weekends, but no. There was actually back in the early 2000s, the magicians Penn and Teller had this awesome show on Showtime called Bullshit, and they actually covered topics like this. And they're like, okay, so feng shui is it real? Let's go get like some real Chinese feng shui magicians. Let's go get some shitty Amerikanskis that think that they can do this. Let's find out how it's taught. There's no actual way that it's taught. It actually just comes from a line of thought in personal wellness. So it's just like it's a do you thing.
And that's how I've always used it too, as a personal thing. Not that it's like a science that is.
In American culture, it's sold as a cult of personality. Like the books on feng shui are bullshit. Like don't read a feng shui book. Just go out. Feng shui is an art you learn on your own for yourself. I like this here.
Exactly.
Yes.
The energy feels better when I'm facing this window because of the wind in my hair or whatever reason, you know?
Yes,
so,
I'm fine with that concept, but I do not like the Americanized capitalism colonialist like selling to you as a Barnes and Noble coffee table book feng shui. You cannot define it in that way. You cannot resell it and repackage it in that way. That is one of those. I feel that feng shui is more like if you like, it's like one of those words that means more than just like the first like. It's like a word that means like a series of sentences of feeling. You know, like Schadenfreude. You know, like that.
What?
You know, words that don't have an English explanation. So there's not
okay.
like a literal translation of the word. So like Schadenfreude in English means like the happiness at the expense of other people. You can't.
Right.
So when you're saying that, like, there's no word for Schadenfreude in English outside that whole sentence. So personally, to me, like when I look at feng shui is an embodiment of a phrase at which to create your own personal motto off of it and how it applies to you. You know, that's the most American word I can give it.
Yeah.
Because it just, I really feel that it gets repackaged and resold, and especially during like spring cleaning season, because people get addicted to that stuff.
I definitely that happens all the time.
Yeah.
So you take it as
Just don't buy those silly books. Auntie, if you're listening, just move that ottoman, and if you like them, stick them there.
Yeah. If you like it, keep it.
But yeah, don't let some weird feng shui master tell you what to do. They're not real. Go find you like a real Shaolin master. Go talk to the Sifu, and then maybe he'd tell you how to clean your house. But don't find some feng shui weirdo. Oh.
So
man.
we cleaned our face. We're cleaning our heads. Kawika, master of technology. How do we clean our media?
Oh,
computer?
man.
All that
That's
stuff.
okay.
Because
So
that goes hand in hand with it all, right? Our houses and our minds are bogging us down. Our computers probably bogging us down too. So how do you attack that? Because I know my computer definitely needs some spring cleaning.
well, it's not just your computer. It's your social media. It's so like, I mean, well, there's a lot of things in it. Like, I really think that like on a first and foremost level, like we as like business centric people in the modern age, like I think file management's a big thing. Like I was lucky enough to like be a son of a bureaucrat, spend time working in the the city secretary's office, and being a document handler, and like being that guy who sits there and creates file trees all day for federal minimum wage. I took a lot of those boring things and I applied them to like, how do I, like it kind of sounds dumb at first, but like, can you find any file on your computer right now without having to use the search feature? And can you find it in less than 5 clicks?
No way.
I can. And that's like an everyday practice. And once you get it down, like everything goes that way. Because in a lot of cases, like you download something to your downloads folder and then 10 months later, everything's in your downloads folder. And then sometimes you'll occasionally move stuff, or maybe you might create one for a project, or you'll start one for production hoping that, yeah, you'll use it during production, but will you really? No. That's why, like, when I sent you the one, like, because we're going to compete in the 48, like, I already set my file tree up. I know my documents go here. Like, it starts the second you build the folder. You just got to lead yourself with that. So, so if you don't have file management, the first thing that I'd figure out is like, you need to sit down and you like collect all your files, set up, like move them all to one spot or open up the windows that they're all in and then create a window that has all like just new empty folders, give them their designated names, and then just one at a time, drag and drop around your screen. Just like, bam, this goes here, this goes here. And it's just like putting things in your bin at home. All the stuff goes in the right spot. And then you can even pack those boxes down by going in those folders and going like, oh, well, technically, like this folder split audio and video. Maybe I should put all the audio files in one and all the video files in the other. And like, especially as a podcaster, like file management's a big thing for me. So like, definitely. I got to be able to like, I have my season 1. And that sits on its own, and then so each episode gets its folder. The folder then gets its primary like raw audio files, and then it turns into audio project files, and then those are in their own folder. And then like I keep all of the ads in a separate folder. So then there's just an ads folder. So when I need to put those bumpers in, they're already cut, and then like they place over.
Basically everything you've been trying to teach me with my social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it applies.
It's helping me with my social media because it's been at a standstill for like a year. So this is good. These are good little tips that I need to marinate in my head once again.
And they apply not just to people who want to be influencers, but people who want to even fix their own stuff. Like, and so this is not just like your content creation system. This is also like what's in your feed. Like as a person, what's in your feed affects how you feel, what you see. Okay. And then certain things in your feed go to the top because you have other friends that like it just as much. So if like you and your friends are all into a certain thing, you might see that thing in your feed more often because you have more people that you know that like that thing.
Right.
But then you also have people out there, and so this is why, like, I really stress that you need to get, like, here's a weird thing that you need to start thinking about doing every spring cleaning when you start doing your digital spring cleaning. Like, let me be the Marie Kondo of your Facebook, if you will. All right? How long you been on Facebook?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Since launch?
Probably a little. I was a MySpacer for a while.
I was too, but I dropped there. I dropped on Facebook the day that it started, and I held on to MySpace.
Yeah, probably like 6 months into it. So the first year Facebook,
Okay.
I'm sure.
All right. I still had my freaking live journal up to that point too.
Oh.
Yeah, man. But no, so okay, so you've been on since about a year after launch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know on average how many pages you've liked a day since that, or liked a month since then?
Absolutely not.
Did you know that you can check that number and see how many pages you like?
No.
Yeah, so folks, if you're listening, you can go to, like, if you go to your side panel and you look at your Facebook from your desktop, you can view all the pages that you like. And I'd be surprised that if 2022 you doesn't like some of the things that 2011 you liked, and they're stinking up your feed.
I'm a completely different person than I
Exactly.
was at times. So yeah.
And so here, it's a twofold thing. So one, it could declutter all the stuff that you're not into anymore by unliking those pages. Two, it brings the pages you like up to the top because you like less things.
So it fixes the algorithm kind of for you.
It fixes it for you. You are the algorithm. Like, people need to stop complaining. Yes, it's in you, Neo. You can do whatever you want with the Matrix. Listen up, kids. All y'all out there that are complaining about the algorithm, like, feeding you what it wants. Dude, it's doing what you want it to do. Okay? You're the hive mind. It's feeding the data off the hive mind. The hive mind is broken. It is fucked up. It is sick sometimes. Okay?
Oh, no.
So in order to fix that fuck up, like, you have to go in and do maintenance. So, like, go in and check your old follows. Go in and check your old likes. You'd be surprised do it. You'd be surprised at how many that you get rid of and then how much cleaner your feed gets. Because then think about this. Some of you out there may only have 250 friends on your friends list. How many pages do you follow? If you've been on Facebook for more than a decade, you could be following thousands of pages.
Damn.
So you have 250 friends, but you have 5,000 things that you like. Of course you can't see your friends. You like too much shit, you spoiled capitalist brat.
That's why. I remember like a year ago, everyone was talking about that. How I don't see half of my friends, and that's the reason why. Huh?
It happens every consumerism growth cycle. I've watched it happen every year. So you're just starting to notice the conversation on the regular because it's finally affecting the community that you're a part of. Because you're a part of a group of people that slow consume. You're in the entertainment industry. You sit on the tier of celebrity almost at this crux in your career that, like, obviously as an influencer, you don't follow as much as regular consumers do. So it's just taking people like you to get there longer because you don't like things as often because you make informed decisions because you may also end up selling those items. So influencers see less on average, but eventually after years it'll catch up on you. So now think about this. You're a 55-year-old woman who started on Facebook in her 40s and went through like maybe even like 3 major consumer changes in your life in that past decade. You have a pen shop for shopping. How many things on Etsy look delectable that had a Facebook page that may not exist anymore, but you're still getting updates on? Yeah.
So many.
Exactly.
So many.
Exactly. So Auntie, you need to go in there and you need to go uncheck all those like boxes so then maybe you see the stuff you like. Maybe you see the stuff from your friends. All right. And then here's the other thing. You want your friends to be priority. You want your family to be priority. Go to their page, click on the settings for your relationship with them, and put see first. You can do that with people. You can do that with pages.
You can?
Yes, you can. You can click. It's been on. That feature's been there for a long time, and you can.
So many features. I guess they're not really. Don't even know about them.
Well, see, the thing is, people only use what they want, what they see immediately, and then there's also a lot of things that were streamlined for desktop, but never really made it to
the mobile version.
The mobile app. But so you can do all this maintenance on your desktop version, and then it affects your mobile app side. So then that way, like, you really have to use both together to get the that's the whole reason why they call themselves Meta. The fuckery is you have to use 10 apps to run Facebook if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Like Kawika me, and it is so much.
Yeah.
There's so many, like, back end ways to do things and all these tips and tricks. And
there's 4 different apps just for posting on. I mean, for those of you out there that are just using Facebook vanilla, like, that's fun. But, like, for any of you who have a small business out there, like, you should be using Meta Business Suite, which was formerly Pages Manager. And if I'm speaking Greek to you right now, you need to go on to Android or iOS and you need to download Meta Business Suite, because if you're managing a page as a professional, or you have, you know, your Instagram page and all that stuff with your Facebook page, like, that's where you bond the accounts together. You can run lives from both of those pages in tandem. You can plan things out on your schedule. You can, like, I know I'm sounding like an ad for Facebook right now, but it's a central part of our lives. So,
it
like,
really is right
so
now.
like,
I mean,
learn how to use it. Like, I'm not trying to sell it to you because we're already all on it. What I'm trying to tell you is that, like, there's a lot of self-maintenance that we need to do as computer users that your average person about the world doesn't think about. I'm a tried and true nerd from the drop, okay? So, like, I was blessed enough to live in a house where my family came up in the bureaucracy of this country during the birth of the computer. So, like, Uncle Sam was like, well, your mommy's got a cool job, son, so we're going to give you a computer at home. So, like, we didn't always have the nicest things, but we had a dial-up fucking computer. And it put me leagues ahead of every other kid in class because I could get on the internet anytime I wanted to. You know? I became a babysitter for a while, but, like, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, my generation of hardcore computer users, like, we see the internet totally different. Like, you guys see it as cat memes, and I see it as, like, this is an information database that needs to be respected and well taken care of. It's just like...
picking your brain too and seeing how you look at everything. Like, how I was looking at social media was just completely off. How you were seeing it is just like numbers and the algorithm. Like, it's now starting to click and make sense. So what you're saying is, like, it's real. Like, if you implement these things.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all solvable by you, and it's solvable in the app. So then the other thing is, like, so one, like, not only can you put, like, priorities on the people that mean the most to you, and, you know, like that, you can then create separate feeds. So just like how you can create hashtag feeds to watch on, like, Instagram or Twitter, you can create your own VIP threads. So you can take friends that you already follow and go, these are all my industry friends. So then that way when I click on this tab, I only see posts from my industry friends.
Oh, that's cool.
And then when I click on this tab, it's just my family. And that's a little side window that you can pull up in the app, and you can look at those people on those auxiliary friends lists. So you can separate your friends list down. Especially if you have more than 100 people on your friends list, you should do that. And then you practice going into those lists, and you'll see those people more often. Like, you can only consume so much data, so the algorithm can only provide so many suggestions until you've looked at all the data. So if you have 1,000 friends and you follow 5,000 pages, how are you going to get through 6,000 posts a day? Can you? No. There's not enough time in a day. So is it the algorithm's fault, or is it your gluttony?
Your gluttony.
Exactly, children.
Your gluttony.
So then how does this apply to influencers, and how does this apply to, you know, so, like, that's the other thing is, like, how does this, like, affect your place in the algorithm? Like, you know, outside of, like, okay, so, like, Facebook, yeah, it's kind of reading your mind by, you know, it's like to a degree. You know, so this comes back to, do you want your ads to not be as weird or annoying anymore? Because does it seem like they, like, either know you too well, or they're kind of weird off base sometimes?
Absolutely.
It's because those pages you liked 10 years ago aren't relevant anymore. They're buying from that data. So if you liked 98 Degrees and you follow that page and you're wondering why you're getting weird boy band ads or something that falls into that niche category of selling to women, it's because they're buying that clout from that page.
Oh.
You know, just how I showed you, like,
go back and like
yeah.
things.
So when we were building ads the other day, and I showed you, like, hey, you're going to do this, times this, buy this, exclude this. People do that to you. So, like, if you're following My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and that person doesn't exist in your brain today anymore because you're not a Pegasus, well, then you're still going to see My Little Pony ads because you liked the page and you forgot to unlike it.
It's
you would also see a huge shift in actually what's liked and followed, because the algorithm is breaking because of all this excessive likes. So if people don't migrate off of those pages get mojo for longer than they should, but then their data deprecates because then they're reporting terrible numbers. So then that's the other thing is like you're actually hurting people by following too many people, because you may not always get, so like even think about this, about the people that you follow, like for the sake of like you want someone to be famous and popular, like why are you following like 100 other people like them that you don't pay attention to as much as that one person? If you like, who do you like, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? Pick one, because frankly, after 10 years of making those choices, like it's gonna clutter up your feed. So you got to go back and you got to undo some of those, and it frees up room, and then it also makes it easier on the creator and the ad buyer, because then when they go in and they buy those people, when they use that psych data to go and buy those people, then they're not
people that are actually relevant and want to know more
item.
about that specific
Exactly.
item.
And then at that point, conversion rates go up. The value, the supply and demand chain of people goes up. Facebook would probably stand to make more money, but it's not something that Facebook can change because it relies on the 2.5 billion people on its platform to create that mindset. So unless you go out there and start, like, you want to save your favorite creators, start unliking old pages, because then you'll see them more often. You want to save content creators in the modern era, don't follow too many. Follow only as many as you can only watch so many TV shows on Netflix. And for those of you out there that go, don't tempt me with a good time, I'll challenge you to a duel. It's like, dude, you can only watch so much content. YouTube alone carries more content than 90 times the population of the earth can watch in one day.
Wow.
If we could populate the universe with 90 times the population of the earth right now, we could still not consume all the data that's on YouTube in one day.
Damn.
That's a lot of shit. So how do you highlight it? You have to keep the hive mind running. If the hive mind can keep running in a direction that points you to what you'll see more gateways open, because less people will be hanging out in rooms that they're not supposed to be in anymore.
Right.
They digitally clear that space, and so it's like at that point, like you can end up connecting better with your audiences as a creator by promoting that attitude, and then that's the other thing is like, So that's the other things to think about is like, how's this going to apply to us as a creator? How does applying these as just a denizen of the internet help our creator friends? And I think we could cover more of this as we go along throughout the series. Like, I think that this is going to lead to far more conversations, and yeah, we'll definitely have to bring some friends on here. I'll do some of my voodoo analysis on air. We'll use this because I'm not really doing client work anymore because I'm tired of it. But you know what? It's fun to peep in and like tell people. It's like doing a seance so we'll find some cool creators that want to do a seance on their profiles and see what they could be doing. Sarah, if you got any cool actor, actress, or model friends that are just like, why isn't this working for me? And then I'll be like, I'll tell you, son.
Because I was one of them, just so just learning now all the ropes. So this is good.
I'm now having more fun doing it for free on air than I was getting paid for it. So so bring it, send them in, send in the guinea pigs. And then, because then like one person at a time, we can make some gains happen. Clear up the internet, one person's life at a time. All right, so let's sweep that under the rug for now. We'll probably talk more about the wellness of spring cleaning. Actually, we'll probably even talk more about like how to fix the perception of feng shui too, eventually, and all those other Eastern practices that are getting eaten up by colonialism right now. But let's take a break from the harsher parts of reality and the hard work of reality, and let's talk dirty and drop the tea for a little bit.
Okay.
So we were talking about this a few episodes ago. We were talking about Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes, yes, her conservatorship. Because right after Britney Spears was off of hers, Amanda wanted to get off of hers a year early because she started in, I believe she was on her 9th year, and she was scheduled to be in conservatory for 10 years.
So here's a crazy thing I've been finding. Like, there are more and more people every day like celebrities / hardworking people / money making people that I'm finding that are
Some people
there's
that are under.
yes. Like to the point to where it's like it's either a manager or a parent. Like, and I can understand some of the cases where like
It seems sketchy, but like Amanda's, I could see Amanda's. Like she wasn't diagnosed with bipolar till after she was having episodes. And I actually feel really bad for her. If you go through her stories and stuff and just like some of the statements she made, I actually felt so bad for her, you know, like sick, and she didn't get the help that she needed and had, you know, an episode because of it. But she's doing very well now. She went to school for fashion design, and she's engaged, and she's looking to move in with her boyfriend very soon, or her fiance.
her fiance lawyer.
Her fiance. So yay, Amanda. Glad that she's doing better.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You know, but speaking about the rise and fall of starlets, so the Marilyn Monroe movie on Netflix, yeah. So you know, like this is the proto version. This before there was Amanda, there was Marilyn. You know, before Britney. You know, this is a girl who went through a lot. So yeah. So Netflix's Marilyn Monroe movie just got an NC-17 rating.
Which I ended up having to Google NC-17 because I had never actually heard of that rating before.
Yes. So the thing is like, so if you don't really understand how NC-17 works, okay, so we have G, PG, PG-13, R, NC-17, X, okay?
Right.
So in that order of operation, G, general audiences, anybody can consume this. PG, parental guidance suggested. So your kid who's 8-year-old could watch it, but maybe mommy and daddy don't believe in all the things that are on the screen, or it's just a little too harsh, right?
Yeah. Have some questions.
PG-13, kids that like wait until puberty to watch this movie. Okay, that's pretty much all that is. Now, R, restricted. Here's the funny part, in which most people don't understand why there's an R and there's an NC-17. R is restricted unless you have a parent with you, meaning this is why your dad can take you to go see RoboCop in 1990, because if your dad's your parent guardian and he takes you to the R-rated movie, well, your dad said it was okay, so it's okay. So as long as you have that 18-year-old guardian with you, you could go watch that and that's how I watched a lot of crazy movies as a kid. Like by the time I was 16, like I'd already watched like dozens of R-rated movies. Like my grandfather, it was like my friend's birthday party / like my birthday was near the same time, and they were like, let's all go see The Matrix, and that came out when I was in middle school. So obviously, like, how am I going to get the ticket, right? My gramps was like, you know what, you earned it, and he went and he bought the ticket, and then I just walked in after he bought the ticket, and then he picked me up out to the movie. But like that's how R-rated movies work.
Yeah,
that's the rule. So NC-17 is no children. That's what the NC stands for. No children under 17, which means you have to be over the age of 8. You have to be 18 or older to get into the movie. Doesn't matter if your daddy's there, because there could be some very strong sexual content. And we're talking like more than a porn movie, but less than penetration. Like more than a softcore Showtime Skinamax film, but like not Pornhub. So like you're gonna see boobs on a screen for a lot longer, and they're not gonna be in the context of like just being in a green room. It could be like a really tawdry scene, and then someone actually like sticks a nipple in a mouth. Like you never know. But that's like NC-17 can cover any of that. So like there may even be some bush. We don't know. So like and then in what way? And then that's the thing. So like I mean, yeah, I'm talking about this anatomically and just like so much from like I just see it as parts. I see it as body parts. I grew up in a green room. They're body parts to me, you know? So it just so, you know, the thing to think about with the NC-17 rating is like, one, this is the first Netflix movie to go to NC-17. Like,
how do they even regulate that? Because it's like, you know, you go to the theaters, you need a parent, but like,
what do you mean?
Streaming, everything is just available. So having that rate.
Well, so having that rating blocks things. So case in point, like Disney Plus recently unleashed their new pin code system. Because they moved all the Netflix
on those types of films in the streaming platforms.
So like Disney Plus now added a pin system in. So like all the adults, if you want to watch the Netflix stuff that moved over to Disney Plus, like Defenders, Luke Cage, you got to set a PIN number now. That way your kids can't get in it. And then also your designated children's accounts. So child accounts on Netflix can't see an NC-17 movie because they can't see anything past a PG-13 rating.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's like the most you get on kids Netflix is TVY7 PG-13.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yep. So I mean, yeah, you know what's funny is like it's interesting Hollywood history, and it's like fun weird stuff to me, like especially for like understanding distribution and like how do you get your rating from the MPAA. But like yeah, there's a couple ratings that like people just don't see that often. So an NC-17 is actually a big deal these days because we really haven't had a lot of NC-17 films since the 90s.
Right.
So we could be going through a no children in the theaters type of renaissance again. So then the other, like, so you have, other films that have been down that route. So like, as some of you may know, RoboCop almost got rated X.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And that's worse than NC-17. That's when you almost get into snuff territory.
Wow.
So that's like a hooker's naked and RoboCop shoots through her to kill a bad guy. That's what we mean by like X. Okay, like I'm not explicitly explaining anything that can be seen in there. If you want to go and watch it, like, or you want to come over my holiday and we check it out, yeah, it's crazy. Like you can watch like the ultra hardcore cut of RoboCop. There's a couple special editions out there, but yeah, RoboCop like got offered X and they were like, no man, we can't. We want to be in regular theaters. And they're like, well, edit it. And then they're like, okay, we'll give you NC-17. We're like, no, man, we want dads across America to make poor decisions.
Yeah, right.
Then the MPAs, well, if you want an R, you got to do this, this, and this. And you know what? They did it. And thanks to that, my daddy took me to go see RoboCop when I was only 3 years old.
Where are these other editions? Like, because they're not just all over the place. Right?
No, they're not. Well, you got to remember that, like, a lot of these cool editions came out before, like, major internet, like, so it's like finding like the third director's cut of Blade Runner, because there's like four director's cuts of Blade Runner. So
like bundles in Walmart finding this, or
well, in the case of that would have been a low print item because it's not like everybody in America is gonna want like, that. You'd be at times like this, I'd say go to Suncoast Video, but Suncoast doesn't exist anymore. And then after they didn't exist, I'd say go to Fye or Warehouse Music, but those don't exist anymore. I hate being from the 80s. I remember too many cool things that don't exist anymore.
So many things.
So many things. Speaking of so many things, moving on so many things, because I could talk about ratings all days, but the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, there is some buzz now that apparently Darth Maul is cut from it, and that Darth Maul was supposed to be a part of it, and that like Ray Park was even like getting jacked up and like already planning to like be on set, and then they were like, nope, no more Darth Maul. We gotta fix this.
Oh. Damn.
How much of a Star Wars person are you, Sarah?
I've seen all the movies.
Okay.
I used to definitely be more into Star Wars when I was younger.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. I did start watching the Star Wars with my daughter, though, and that was pretty cool to see her just getting excited about it and, like, asking me the questions. And it kind of, like, made me go back to, like, watching them with my dad and being like, oh, this is so cool,
You know how I know we're old and we're parents? We just called it The Star Wars.
The Star Wars!
Have you seen the Star Wars? You should watch it, child. It's good. I feel like a Jewish grandmother selling the Star Wars
like
like
my
it's
mom saying the weed. Oh, I think I smell the weed.
the devil's lettuce.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. You put the in front of things that don't need the word the in front of it. Damn it, I'm getting old. But make sure to watch the Star Wars and wash behind your ears.
Yeah, so got to watch more of the Star Wars with Coco.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The games are awesome. I've played all the video games. Like I'm just a video game whore for that stuff.
Games, yeah. I played a lot of Star Wars on the PlayStation back in my day.
Yeah, those were pretty good. Jedi Power Battles was a pretty good game. Oh man, but we could talk about those. We should probably have some like
throwback video.
Yes, yeah, we should have some segments. I could break out all the games.
Halo, did you see that? I that there was like a series of Halo? Like I used to play that. Like
I don't even watch the Super Bowl, but I watched that Super Bowl commercial. I've been stoked about that Halo movie. Yeah.
Oh my god, I haven't seen it. The first episode dropped, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm holding off though. Like I'm just like I'm gonna let, but I will watch it before we record next week. So I will have things to say about it. I did finish Our Flag Means Death, and I gotta say, like, have you watched it yet?
I haven't watched it yet.
Don't, like, I can't spoil it then. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the last 2 episodes that like historians, Ren Fair goers, pirate aficionados, and the like, they're all just gonna have like an aneurysm. Like,
oh wow,
yeah, half of white male America is gonna have a problem with itself after watching these 2 episodes because they
really want to watch it.
Yeah, no, check it out. It's like the second that it happened, I grinned and I looked over and I was just like, this is gonna piss so many people off. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's a great change in the story. It's that point of like you can play with a mythos a little bit, and you could talk about taboo subjects, and it's very interesting at what they've done with this show, yeah. So you like I can't. It's like spoiling the end cameo on the season of Peacemaker.
Oh, then don't.
Don't. Oh, you haven't watched Peacemaker yet either?
No, I haven't been really watching anything lately because I've just been working so much. But these are things that I need to,
I'm gonna give you a little bit of a hint, so that way not that everybody out there in the podverse is listening can understand this, but I'll see the light go on in your eyes on why it's cool, but then at the same time other people won't get it. All right.
Okay, do tell.
The end scene, the special cameo, is related to a certain audition you're working on.
Oh.
And it's fucking hilarious.
Now I can't wait to see it.
So now go watch it. Catch up on Peacemaker. I was lucky enough to go.
Blue Peacemaker.
Peacemaker is on HBO Max with all the other DC content. DC, if you're listening, I will whore your stuff all day.
What did you say?
I said, DC, if you're listening, I will whore your product all day. You don't have to pay. That's the one place where like I know I'm still a fan and I'll sell it. I don't care. We're gonna do it. Let's do this. But yeah, no, I did the Peacemaker experience at Comic-Con Special Edition. That was pretty fun. Yeah. I secretly took some video with my Ray-Ban stories. I've been afraid to post it, but now that I've said it out loud, I'm sure they're not listening and they don't care. And yeah, I'll probably, I don't know. Maybe I'll go tweet the HBO Max page and be like, so what's the deal here on these? Because I really like to share this, but you guys said don't take any video, but I kind of took some video because my glasses.
But I was like really cool.
I can't help myself. But it was pretty fun. Like they you walk through the facade of his front door of his trailer, and then they lead you into like a cutout of his room, and they hand you a bunch of these Nerf guns, and then they train you to be a piece of shit law enforcer. And it's like literally your job to like the first thing you do is like save this woman, and then it's like they purposely make it to where you shoot the hostage, and it's made to be as bad as the show. So like you want to like, but then you can't help but laugh. So you're just So it was interesting. And then at the end, I got garlic zoodles, just like Harley Quinn. Yeah,
what?
Yeah, that was the best part. Was the garlic zoodles were great. Yeah, they had a little truck there with cheese sticks and garlic zoodles. Yep, greatest contributions to mankind.
Very cool.
And maybe there'll be something cool for them at Comic-Con this year. So we got our panel for them. So stay tuned on that, folks. We'll be taking the show on the road once we get our confirmations. But we got the paperwork. We're in place. We're gonna do it, kids. We're going to Comic-Con. And we'll see. Comic-Con's back to normal. That's right. The pandemic's over and the Comic-Con's back to normal. So listen up more regularly and you will know.
Rabbits on the road.
Yeah, rabbits on the road. That'll be a whole nother segment. Maybe that's when we'll go video. When we go on the road.
Yeah, we should, right? That's when we go video.
Yeah.
It's at Comic-Con. All our friends.
Yeah. Absolutely, positively. I think that's a great idea. And you know what else is a great idea? We're actually we're gonna call it here because we need time for our special guest today. So
Yes, we do.
And because our special guest is coming on after Sarah leaves, we're both gonna say a very thank you very much for joining us this week, Sarah.
Mhm.
Any kind words for our loyal listeners out there?
Oh, just thanks, guys, for tuning in each week. And we've got some more really great episodes planned for you. So make sure you keep on coming every Sunday.
Every Sunday. And there may be some extra stuff on the side. We'll be letting you know of that. So about this next segment, I was privileged enough to be staying on the homestead this last year. While working on a project. I do not have any homestead lab myself, but as I've been transplanting back and forth from California in my journey to find my own place to call my home on Maui again, or in finality, I was blessed enough to stay on the homestead. And during Halloween, I was randomly driving down the road, and there were these wonderful people handing out 1 pound bags of Kahlua pig. Yeah, no, only on the homestead, bros. All right, listen to this. Only on the homestead does this happen. This is a beautiful place. All right, this is the land of milk and honey, and we need to protect it. And so I was very, very blessed to meet these folks over at Palpena. They are a organization that is dedicated to the Āina of the people and what it can bring to those people, whether by hard work or harvest. And so they had a connection with a pig farmer, and the pig farmer went and, he looked at the surplus that he had and what he could do with it this year, and he decided that he was going to give it back to the people.
Amazing.
So they gave out, pound by pound, they handed out Kahlua pig to the people, and everybody on the homestead. I had sliders every day, and I was in the middle of production, so I was eating bad already. Like the only thing, and I can't say 100% bad because like at least like 1 out of every third day in the week, I would go to Pook Soup and I go get a box from Pook Soup, but but even there's a certain point like, bruh, like, I mean, you could live on Pook Soup. There's nothing wrong with it. I've done it for days on end. But, like, sometimes you got to take a break and go get some food on poke. Am I right? You know? So, but in that same aspect, but no, I had, it was great. I had Kahlua pig for days, and it was just a great respite. And at that point, like the bag had a label and everything. And it was just like, this is where it comes from. Check out this. So I followed them on Instagram, and then I was getting ready for this podcast, and I didn't know exactly like when it was going to start recording. I hadn't even finalized Sarah as the co-host yet, but I was just like, I have to start interviewing Hawaiians. I know that's going to be a part of the show. So I hit up Palpena, and I asked if I could talk to one of the head honchos, the high mind, the greatest part of the high mind, Uncle Norman, and what he's doing for the hui and what he's doing for people on the homestead, future Hawaiians, how he's fighting, how we can fight better. And so this segment here is actually like kind of what progenited this whole series. And so I hope you enjoy the remainder of this segment. And you have a wonderful week, and we'll get at you next time. Aloha.
Moving forward.
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention reminds you to take care of your mental health in the face of uncertainty. 1, focus on what is in your control versus what is not. 2, do what helps you feel a sense of safety. 3, remind yourself to stay in the present. 4, stay connected with others. You can reach the crisis text line by texting TALK to 741-741 or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. We're in this together, and help is always available.
Moving forward.
guys never lose them, actually.
Yeah.
You guys still get them. Is that you gotta go research more on your grandparents' side, because they're not gonna take something that doesn't belong to them. That's the thing. They just take them. So you better look into that family kind of stuff. It's important.
Uncle Norman sits on the porch. Our view is infinite as we see Maui Valley and the ocean beyond. We've been talking story for a bit as I explain my grandparents' history on Maui, but that's a story for another time. We're here with Uncle Norman, and he's the president of Palpena, an organization founded to protect and cultivate the Āina.
They don't own them. Because I went to one court meeting with a friend of mine, and he was on their land that, well, it's not their land, but he was building a house on the pineapple land. So they came inside, they tore him down, they did everything. But anyway, when he went to court, this 5 lawyers from Maui Bynes came representing Maui Bynes. Five of them. 1 Japanese and 4 Hawai'is. Walking proud buggers. But anyway, when the judge went asked, because the Japanese went speak because it looked like he went fit in that situation because he's Japanese. And at 4 Howleys, I was on our side. But when the judge went asked the Japanese man, "Where's you guys' deed?" And the Japanese man said, "We don't have a deed." How's that one, Bob?
I'm not surprised by that account at all. I mean, the story I was told as a kid when my grandmother was a child, there would be a local man that would come, recent transplant, businessman, carpetbagger from the East, and he would go, Auntie, you like $25 for groceries? And then they would sign nothing, and then he would just cut a little over, and the next thing you know, there was just something to mark the spot for next week. He would come by again, and he asked for a little bit, and he moved 1 acre, 2 acre, 3. Times were tough, he'd take more. And they never signed anything, and she didn't understand half of that because she came from a world where it was, you like, you borrow, you exchange.
Well, Hawaiian was always giving people. They always give, regardless of who they are. Haole, Japanese, whoever came to the house, they always give, not taking, not take because they got something already. So they're always giving. So that's a problem with that. But if they never sign nothing, then that's even better for you. But I'm telling you, man, I seen it with my eyes. 5 lawyers couldn't do anything because they don't have a deed. Okay, they don't have a deed for all this Maui Bynes land, all of them. No deed at all. But anyway, I'm Palpena.
Yeah. So how? So I want to know first, Palpena. I want to know the why.
The why?
The why of Palpena. Why did it come together? What made it happen?
Okay. The why is because I went down to a meeting at the kind of DJ job, and I found out that some of the land, not all, some of the land is being leased out to non-beneficiary.
Okay, so before you continue, for anybody listening, what is a non-beneficiary?
Non-beneficiary is that you're not Hawaiian.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Simple.
Non-beneficiary. No more blood, no more cocoa, nothing. So, when I found out that this guy, right here now, right here, when I found out that this guy, this rancher, had this property down here for over 25 years, 5,000 acres, right down here, 5,000 acres this non-beneficiary had. And you know, I never know that myself, but when I found that out, that's when I got involved about 2 years ago. I found that out, I got angry. So next meeting, I went back to the board again, the kind of commissioners, and I told them, as a Kanaka, I told them, I want that 5,000 acres. I'm a Kanaka. This guy no more blood. He don't have Kanaka. And for 25 years, nobody went step up to the plate and say, oh, I like this land. Even the ranchers, the local brothers, there are plenty local brothers that can ranch, but they didn't do them. I was so upset when I heard that. So when I told him that I wanted that 5,000 acres, that's when everything went stop. They would look, oh wow, nobody came but you. You know, I'm here, pa. I want that 5,000 acres. So I informed one nonprofit, and it's called Palpena. Me and my neighbor was, she was down there at the meeting, and then after when I told them that I want that 5,000 acres, we came together and formed that nonprofit, that Palpena. So from that day on, it was fighting. We're still fighting, which is good. I'm happy. I like the action. I like that kind of action. It's good action because, you know, you get in the face. You like things happening because they're moving too slow. Because there are plenty of people out there will die already and not have anything. So our mission as Palpena is to help the beneficiaries on the list get on the land. 5,000 acres. What are they
So
about?
you're here to expedite the process where it tends to slow down
Yes.
on
yes.
the government level,
Yeah.
on the DHHL level,
Yeah.
and local government support level.
Right. So DHHR is not it's a state entity.
Okay.
Okay, it's not one Hawaiian entity. Yeah? So by doing that, well, the kind in 1893 they overture anyway. So so the apology bill came, everything, and it's still there. We can still can go out there and fight because of that. But anyway, it's a state entity, and whenever the governor says goes, yeah. So that the kind DHHL doesn't even to me doesn't even exist because it's a state entity. They won't stop us from doing whatever we want to do on our land. They won't stop us. They like us mock it before we get something. That's all it is. So, and you know, that's a sad part about it because plenty Hawaiians they don't look at the overture as real. They the kind of mindsets they change already.
I feel you on that. I feel like there is this mythological sense of protocol that Western history has glazed over factual Hawaiian history.
Yeah.
And that if we don't take the time to preserve the message that our ali'i left for us and understand what they went through on every level, to how that happened, why it happened, and what we can do to go backwards from that and move forward towards, a better future for Hawaii.
Well, there's a lot of qualified Hawaiians that can run this place right here, run all islands.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of qualified Hawaiians that can do that. They're smart already. They went to college. So I don't know what to hang up because they're taking it slow. I like them boom. Getting too slow. I like to see something happen when I'm okay. Right now I'm doing something where it's good for the Kanaka people. It's good for my ohana. So I like something when I'm okay. This 5,000 acres, they can go inside there and do something, ranch. Because our goal is to ranch and farm. So we like teach the kanakas how to be self-sufficient and how to live off the land. So that's one of our goals. Our second goal is that. So once we get Āina, we can start with one small ranch, one small farm, and then build them up until the thing come big where we can put one kanaka inside there. And okay, you go inside and this is how you do it. You put one cattle, or maybe on 2 acres, 3 acres. You can put one cattle. You can put sheep inside. You can go your whatever you like eat. Grow cow. That's what it's all about. So you don't need to go Costco, go shopping. We haven't bought meat for quite some time, maybe 5 years now.
5 years.
We live off the sheep and we get beef in the back. We go hunt. Over here get cattle instead. Me and the boys, we go around there, we shoot one cattle. Everybody take. This is yours. This is our Āina around here. So
would you say your end goal is sustainability?
Sustainability, yeah.
No dependency?
Well,
outside of the community supporting itself.
Yeah, you gotta do it yourself, and it's so easy. You gotta put the seed in the ground, and then get one sheep, get one cattle, feed them, big feed for them, so you don't need to buy feed, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're all about. And giving, we give plenty. We just help the kind of other non-profit. We can help two non-profit guys. We gave them 10 grand because we had this money. Oh, yeah, brother. And good friends too. Yeah. Okay, you guys can use 10 grand? Okay, yeah. 10 grand over here. Go work whatever you guys do. Get that kind of one bara, all you do is farm. He's a big farmer. He's a kalo farmer. And he supply all islands. Over here. On that mountain over there. One bara. So and he live right up here. So the kind he helping, we're trying to get this 5,000 acres for. He don't belong up there. He belong over here. Over there you gotta pay. I don't know what the deal with that, but But he's using 200 acres from this haole, going by that place over there. So, instead of staying over there, he can come over here from. And he live right up here. We go down there.
So he haul all the way over there every day, but he lives.
Yeah, right here, bro. And get one other brother down there, Hanale. This brother gave me this Āina right there. Because when he had them, I came inside with the machine. I make everything for him. Terrace down, everything. Put in the water line, everything. And then one time he was talking to the kind of Carlo brother. Told him, hey, I think I'm going to give this to Brother Norman. And then the Carlo brother said, I had one dream about that. So that's how I ended up with this. I told him, hey, no, everything's inside here already. Ready for you for build. We can build whatever. This house I built them, okay, for me and the wife. 1 bedroom, without permit. No need permit for build on the kind of Hawaiian homeland. No need. The kind we go research that my daughter will research them, and it says in the kind of county code that the kind of Hawaiians are exempt from building permits. And not too many Hawaiians are that. Very few. So anyway, this brother now, this Hawaiian brother down there, he's a farmer too. He's a pig farmer. So he raised pigs. He got about 500-600 pigs that he raised. And he's a local brother. He's on Hawaiian. And the color brother is Hawaiian too because he lives over here. That's the kind of guys we like do something because they just are too slow. They don't like see us Hawaiians get ahead. They like us market on the lease. Whew, scary that. Kind of piss me off, but for years that wouldn't happen. Even my parents never signed in for forget one lot or something. I don't know if they never know, but my parents didn't do that. Even my grandfather, they all pure Hawaiians. So that's what we're all about. Giving, helping the kanakas, try to go on the land, be self-sufficient, eat off the land. Yeah, it's so easy to eat off the land. You gotta put the seed. Look, I get coconut over there. I get sheep down there. I get kalo growing. I'm good to go. Because not too many Hawaiians do this. Even my neighbor, look, he don't want nothing inside his Āina. All you gotta do is just put the plant in the ground and water. So easy, and then he get plenty. He can build a this.
So what do you think, 2 parts, what do you think needs to be taken action on now to further Palpena's efforts? And we'll go to the next part after that. But.
Well, Palpena is still moving. We're not still.
Yeah.
We're still fighting. This 5,000 acres that's down here, that they never give us these 5,000 acres because I'm gonna apply for this. They never give us this 5,000 acres because of one lame excuse, one lame one. So one of the commissioners, when I go face the kind of commissioners, well, my board never listened to the president. They always my board wanted for this 5,000 to be one housing, uh, uh, school, even golf course.
What?
Yeah. So, but anyway, one of my boys, you know how my board anymore, he's out. so, so I tell my board, we're not gonna get them because it's not zoned for that. It's zoned for agriculture and pastoral. Yeah. If we do that, we're gonna get the 5,000 acres.
Mm-hmm.
They never listen. But anyway, that's history already. So I go face the board. I told the board, same reason why we're there. We want that 5,000 acres. So the same excuse came back from one commission on Maui. He said, you guys not qualified to do whatever we wanted to do with the school and housing and whatever. But that commissioner from Maui, he never know what I can do. You know, just by coming out and say, oh, you guys not qualified to do this, to do that, to do that. I can move. I can make roads. I can build subdivision. I can do that. I can tie into the main line. I can do everything to do with housing and whatever. But anyway, what's a lame excuse? So instead of giving us that 5,000 acres, they will give us 200 acres, which is okay with me. It's right up the road. So we're working on that 200 acres. We're turning that 200 acres into farming and ranching. Right now we're doing both, but on small scale. Later on we got, it takes money for move on tree, yeah, and grade and whatever. But money coming in, but slowly, but they coming. We are coming plenty, but we take whatever coming. So that's the thing. So we started a small farm, and we got sheep and cattle right up here, right off the road, perfect for us. No more water, but we get this machine from the mainland that makes water, and it's not working quite well yet. So the guys got to come over and fix them. But this machine creates 200 gallons a day. This machine, but he collect moisture from the air, and so that's not enough for us. It's good. It's good enough for us for start the project, but we still need one meter. So we're fighting for that meter. So it's a lot of things. You gotta go through red tape for these guys. I tell you, instead of helping Palpena, get started, give them the water, make it easy. No, see, somehow they make it hard for us guys. They don't like us succeed. I thought, what? Okay, that's okay. We can do what we gotta do. So we get it. Fighting for the water right now.
So, second part, what can we do as the community with Palpena? Like from the littlest thing to the biggest thing. What does the whole organization need help with? From boots on the ground to people in the office. What can Hawai'i bring to you if they can hear your message?
Well, we need some foreign money.
Fair enough. No, I like that. That is not like I totally understand that. Like I was hearing stories about an uncle in Hana that was trying to downsize his land by giving it to other people in that area before foreigners got to it. But then he was using Bitcoin to manage the transaction because he wanted to create an investment fund. I mean, that's still like hearsay from one cousin to one uncle to tell me at dinner type story.
Yeah.
But like those are the kind of things that I'm hearing, that like Hawaii is now going outside of the standard mainland banking system to create its own economic stability.
Yeah. No.
So like, I mean, really the joke aside is that
Yeah.
Hawaii needs a financial injection, whether it's from somewhere from within itself or from outside that does not have that negative Western influence.
Well, this state is obligated now, to make sure the Hawaiians is self-sufficient, and they're not doing that. We gotta do them on our own, and it's a fight, but you know I enjoy that. It's a good fight, but they're not living up to their side, the state. So that's the thing, but you know, as far as the kind our organization, you know, I don't know how come, you know, some Hawaiians they jealous us or what, but they think we stealing land or we're taking land away, but we're not. We're trying to help the Kanakas be self-sufficient. That's what Jonah was saying. Jonah said, "Give my people land so they can be self-sufficient in agriculture and the kind pastoral." So that's what the state is not doing that. They're waiting for us to die. Sad, huh? But you know, get plenty Kanakas out there, even though they get plenty knowledge about the law, but I don't see nothing happening. You know, I'm not one lawyer. You know, I'm just a simple guy, the kind that's trying to make something happen. And you know, get plenty lawyers out there that can make things happen and fast too. Not the kind, because they get all that knowledge already. So I haven't heard anything for quite some time now. Well, since the overthrow, I gotta go do it myself. Oh my goodness! You know, when Hawaii no more background in law and you know whatever, but.
I think I personally, like, I felt on my journey of being Hawaiian on the mainland was that there's some weird self-doubt that we as a nation have had since the overthrow. That there's something, because like I hear it from each of us when we say the part of I'm not this, but then I had to go do this. So there's a part in us that tells us that we can't, but there's that Hawaiian part inside of us that can't be oppressed that says, I'm going to figure out how to do this. Don't tell me I can't.
That's right.
Because, bro, I'm going to.
That's right.
And then we get to that end point. So I feel that there's a huge problem going on with especially the last two generations of Hawaiian. That we run into this mental barrier. There's a mana'o around us, there's a mana'o inside of us, and we disregard it because of all of the foolish things that have been presented to us in this colonial construct.
That's cool.
You know, so then I feel that like we don't see how much potential we have until we've finally gotten there. And so then I see that, like, you know, folks like you, that you have the fire and it's there and you're going to go fight, but then you wonder, like, where's the rage in everyone else? You know?
No more.
Exactly.
So, okay, so I'm trying to raise up my boy to be, how old are you?
I'm 36.
My girl is about 38. My nephew is about 30 something. My other niece is about your age too. So I'm trying to make sure that this young generation, get the knowledge and do something. So I get 4 young guys that's on the board that's what we need. I'm gonna go pretty soon, but they gotta take over. They gotta get in there. Fight! Kick ass or something. I don't know. So that's, my board is young. I got some young guys in Siram. Got me and Isara Kupuna, and then get this other brother, Isara Kupuna too. So, we get action. So that's how we just gotta keep going. We can stop, because if we stop, then their kids not gonna get nothing. So,
If the knowledge transfer doesn't occur, it can't happen again.
we gotta keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not caring about it, because they're not doing nothing. So that's what it is. So that's what Palpena is doing, trying to raise up your generation to get out there and kick some ass.
So, what made you want to kick ass when you were our age? What gave you the fire to start?
That when I found out that one non-beneficiary was on this land for 25 years, that ain't gonna stir my blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why they give me one non-beneficiary and get people on the list that dying? Why? So, get plenty kanakas out there that can make subdivision just like me. Plenty get out there, but somehow they're not giving us the chance to do it. That really upset me, that kind of stuff. That's unreal. The guy, even though we get kanakas on the commission there, and the kind of disappointing, because they're supposed to be helping out the kanakas. What? They're not doing nothing. So that kind of stuff, you gotta go through. Gotta fight our own kanakas. What's up with that?
Yeah. So like I've
What the heck?
I feel it's sometimes a hard topic to discuss, but I feel it has to a degree, because I feel that somewhere between our pride and then what one feels is right versus what the other feels is wrong, and then each of us have different histories, so each of us survived, and helped make Hawaii survive in our own ways, whether on a small scale in your own household. I was lucky enough to grow up with my grandparents in their home on the mainland, and that's what kept us tethered. I never didn't feel not Hawaiian at home, but then when the time came to go outside of the hui, it was a culture shock.
Yeah, go find out who you are.
Yeah, and that was the thing is that, even school was a safe place as a kid, because our whole neighborhood, it was still segregated back then. So all the Polynesians and the Pan-Asians all stayed together, because that's where the military put them. So to a degree, I felt like I managed to have some transplanted a refugee experience of home growing up, but I feel that same sentiment that you stated about like kanakas fighting other kanakas is that when you finally come to the table and you realize that there are some that feel the exact opposite of you, but they feel that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And how do we get past that barrier of feeling strange to our own people?
Yeah. Oh. What really got me on is that, you know, I want to see my kids get something when I'm okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I not do 'em, who gonna do 'em?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta do 'em. I gotta, what you call that, make the path, open them up for them. So, what you call, make it easier for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it easy for you.
We're each laying a path for the ones behind us.
Yeah, so, you know, at least we're doing something. So that's a good thing. We're not sitting down just waiting. Because you get plenty of kanakas out there just sitting down and waiting. I don't know what they're waiting for. Well, I get plenty of land over here. And, you know, kind of disappointed that most of the kanakas over here, no more. No more fruit trees inside, no more bananas, no more nothing. Kind of sad. And they get nice land. So look at this land right here, pa. That's another lot right here. Man, if we put something inside, could look like this. But somehow they're not doing. I don't know if they know how. So that's why we like help the kanakas put something in the ground, grow something. So that's one of our goals. Can be self-sufficient. But you don't need to go outside, go buy anything. You get the Āina, use them. Oh, free Āina. How do that, bro? And they don't use them. Oh, so the hot come. I don't know. You better come back and help the kanakas over here. Help kick ass.
So there's one thing that I really want to collect from every Hawaiian on this side of the Pacific. So when I'm back on the mainland talking to others, I'd like to be able to relate the struggles on each side. So from Maui born and bred back to those that are displaced. Because I mean the biggest thing that like made me feel less alone growing up on the mainland was when my grandmother she got this poster from Kamehameha schools, and it showed you all the places in the world where there were high density populations of Hawaiians. Like you could, like that's where Hawaiians moved, and then Kamehameha schools would send alumni newsletters out, and they go, "Hey, you still living here? All right, cool, checking in." And so then you could see on the map, oh, there's some in New York. This is where they all live in Seattle and Portland, and San Diego's a big place. And so what the thing that made me feel less alone was knowing that we're at a point now because of how we were displaced and how the Hawaiian race grew is we've nearly got just as many, if not more now, from what I understand, Hawaiians lost on the mainland as there are living on Maui and living on Oahu and Kona, on all the islands.
Well, they move. Well, this is me.
Yeah.
The kind. I don't know why the kanakas will move because over here get land.
Yeah.
For the kanakas,
Yeah.
They just gotta go fight for them.
Yeah.
But as far as living here in Hawaii, it's hard. It's not. You gotta put the seed in the ground. Simple. It's not a hard living. If you put everything in the ground, you only gotta go Costco once a month. You have to go pick up milk or something. Yeah. So it's not hard. It's just that they never know how to fight for the Āina, probably. You gotta do that if you want Kanaha, because this is your land. You gotta fight for 'em. Not move.
Yeah, no, and and I think that's the most interesting part is like learning all the journeys of like the how and whys of the displacement of Hawaiians. The why people move. I'm always happy to see the how people stayed, but the history of immigration of Hawaiians because they couldn't afford. I mean, both my grandparents grew up one of many children living hand to mouth. And they both saw the Marine Corps as their savior. Both my grandparents served in the Marine Corps as a way of gaining equity in their life to move forward. And I always
never, I don't know how come, but did your grandparents move out of there or they got kicked out?
So as far as my grandmother's side, there were parts of it that still had housing on it that the family lived on. There were still parts with housing that were in contention with the state, and then there were parts that were constantly in fight with developers and already overdeveloped places.
So while you was here, did you ever go back there and look at your land?
When I was a kid, yes. My grandmother made it a point that like we never really. The funny part is like I spent half of my life over there, and I never really crossed over to the side island because my grandmother supplied a paradise over there, and my grandfather really didn't have much left over here besides an occasional cousin or a brother that was still living. And so about around the time that like my Uncle George passed away, I don't remember really coming up countryside much anymore. And we really spent a lot of our time in Napili.
Yeah, my grandparents was in Wailuku, and my grandfather had a job. He was working for a county, and then my grandmother was a housewife, which is to home and just do whatever, take care. But they had a simple life where they raised pig. My grandfather was a fisherman, so they get their own meat. They go around to the ocean, bring them home, and then to get all the vegetables around. Had plenty to eat, mango trees, all that, papayas. All the good kind of stuff. They never had to hardly go to the store unless they like eat something from the canned goods. So everything was, to me, was self-sufficient because they had everything to live on. Right on the Āina, it was a kind of small Āina. I think it was about half an acre probably. Oh, maybe smaller than half an acre. But anyway, they had everything inside there. So, and I used to watch my grandpa pound boy. So now I'm making all the implements and pounding boy. So I make all my boards. I make all my stone. I made so once a year, I have my kids come down and we just kui. Go down there, go harvest scallop, cook them up, make suluao with fresh pa'i. Right there. Put up one tent. Even my grandkids can pound boy. Small as they are. I think I get one about 6 years old. I think 5 or 6. She go. So at least they learn something there. They can pound their own boy.
So before we close out, I want to know, just from your singular perspective, because I want to learn this from every Hawaiian I get to meet in my lifetime, is what to you is like the core for you in being Kanaha, being Hawaiian, in upholding our legacy and fighting for our people? What is at your core in your kuleana?
Well, you know, kind brother Jonah he's a good inspiration that I kind of learned from Jonah, because when he made the Hawaiian Home Commission Act, I never know about that. Even high school, I never know about that. Only recently, in fact, when I started this nonprofit about 3-4 years ago, that's when I found out that Jonah wanted the Hawaiians to be self-sufficient. Him. So actually he gave me the drive. Brother Jonah, when he said, "Hey, give my people land, so they can ranch and farm and be self-sufficient." That's why I'm here.
That's why he's here. And what are we here for? If you'd like to step up and join the fight, check out www.palpena.org. That's PAUPENA.org. Or look into any of the many organizations in Hawaii and the mainland that are ready for action to protect the heritage and rights of all kanakas. Mahalo for listening, and we hope to bring you more unique talk story sessions like this as I interview kanakas in Hawaii and across the mainland in order to connect our stories and strengthen our community. Join us again next week for more insight into the world around us and the Hawaiians that live in it. Aloha. Rabbit Holes is a Manavakau production. This episode was produced by Kawika and Sarah Rodriguez. Make sure to subscribe and follow on your favorite podcast platforms to add our weekly episodes to your queue.